everybody, and welcome back to my channel, The Night Owl Stitcher. My name is Mackenzie, and thank you so much for clicking on my video. As always, I'm sorry this video is a little bit late. I had wanted to post it at least a few days ago, and life has just gotten in the way, so I apologize for that. But I have a lot to show you today. Believe it or not, I've actually done a lot of stitching. I'm looking over this way because I have notes, as always. But I have done quite a bit, so I'm excited to show you what I have. And actually, I've kind of gone on a little bit of a finishing spree. So I have 2 FOs, and I have one that I wanted to get finished before this video, and then, like I said, because of life, I just wasn't able to get it done, but I'm so close. So that will be shown in my next update for sure. And I'm really excited to show you guys because they are my older stitches. So it's been kind of nice checking them off the list. Yeah, so anyway, I also want to say that in this video, I'm going to do a little giveaway at the end. I'm so excited because I just want to say thank you to all of you who subscribe and watch me and comment and support my channel. It means the world to me, as I always say, but I want to say a little thank you. So there will be a giveaway, and I'm going to pull 2 winners, so stay to the end. You won't want to miss it. Okay, so I guess we'll just jump into the update. I think that's everything I have in terms of an intro at the beginning, nothing crazy. Okay, so I'll jump into the FOs first. So my first one, you guys might already guess which one this is. I had so many comments on my last video being like, girl, just get it done. And one in particular, if I can remember, I will put it on the screen. And it just made all the difference getting all of you guys to kind of motivate me to get this done because I needed that push. So finally, this is Owl Trio by Dimensions. It's finally done and I'm so excited. It looks so good. These are little French knots, so I had to do those. For, I think it was the first time ever. There might have been one other project I tried to do them on. I can't remember, honestly. But I had to relearn them, basically. And I think they turned out so good. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm so proud of this one. This was a labor of love, let me tell you, even though it's this small. So let me tell you a little bit about this project. So as I said, it's called Owl Trio by Dimensions. Let me just get this straight on here. It's hard when I'm reading something off to the side. It's stitched on blue Aida that just came in the kit. It's 14 count, and you stitch it 2/1 apart from back stitch and the obviously the specialty stitches like the French knots. I actually think those were 3 threads if I'm not mistaken. And then there are like mixed like blends. You put 2 threads together to stitch certain colors. I don't know if I can find an example like this orangey color in here. There's like an orange and a brown in there, an orange and another color. Anyway, what else? So yeah, full cross back stitching, and then the French knots. And what else about this project? I think that's it because it was just a kit. It came with everything I needed. Yeah, so I'm super excited. My boyfriend said he's gonna make a frame for this one for me, so that'll be really cute. I think, oh, there's my dog. Sorry guys, hold on. Okay, I think my dog has stopped now. But he's gonna make a frame out of this, or frame out of wood for me for this one. It's gonna be a white wood with like, I think like a gloss or a shellac or something on it. Like he said, with a little bit of a finish, I think. So that'll be exciting. So when that's FFO'd, I will show you guys again, but I'm so happy. This was, oh, I wish I had printed when I started this. It's been years. I'll put it on the screen how long, this side, I'll put on the screen how long it's been, because this shouldn't have taken that long to do. So finally it's off my shoulders, off the list, and it feels good to have that done. So that was the first FO. And then the second FO is April by Crochet Agogo. And again, this one also took me longer than I should have. Not years, mind you, just a few months, but still, I was hoping to do one a month, and that's just, it's looking like it's not going to happen. I think this took me, I started in March. I think it took me 3-ish months. So, but it's so cute. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. I love it. So this one is stitched on Lugana from my LNS in the color Mushroom. It's 28 count. I stitched it 2/2 full cross, and I used all the called for DMC. But I absolutely love it. So I stitched this one on a fabric that I actually cut to fit all 4 of the, first 4 months of the year. So I'm kind of thinking, like, I mean, maybe you guys can tell me what you would do. I don't know if I should cut out the April and then just hem or like zigzag the 2 unfinished edges, like the top and then this side when I cut it. Or if I can show you. If I cut it, I would have to, oh, and it's upside down. Can you tell it's been a while since I filmed? I feel like out of practice. Okay, so I'd have to hem this, and I'd have to hem this if I cut this corner out of the fabric. Do I do that, or do I leave it in the fabric because I can't like display it, or I don't want to display it until like next year in April anyway? Do I just leave it and then like keep stitching the other months because I want to, like, I have a bit more breathing room when it came to using my hoop or like my Q-snap with that extra fabric there. But I also don't want to get that really dirty if I'm holding it, Although in a Q-snap I do use a grime guard, so I just don't want to like ruining all the stitching if it's like in there for months and months and months and I'm handling it and moving it a lot. Anyway, let me know, because I know that I'll put full coverage projects in Q-snaps and stuff, and I don't have an issue with it being in there that long. I think just because I'd be moving this one and handling it, and it's a smaller piece of fabric, I have to keep moving a smaller hoop around. But let me know what you guys do. Anyway, so that's exciting that that's done. So I do want to start eventually. Did I want to start with January? I think I wanted to start with January now, or like now soon. I don't know when. I don't have like specific plans or dates, but within the next couple months I think I want to start January so that it's ready for January of next year. And then when that's done, I'm going to move on to February again, like probably end of this year, so that I have it all like planned out and I have a few months ahead because of how long that one took me. So anyway, that's that. And then something that just really quickly, it's really small, not stitching related, but I have shown it in a previous video. But it is also an FO, or I guess it's an FFO technically. Is this little diamond painting compact mirror. It's so cute. So I put like a glaze over it to hold all the diamonds. It's the same on both sides, and without you guys seeing my whole setup. It's a really nice mirror actually. So this was a present from my mom, and it only took like a few hours, like a couple hours maybe total. Like each side probably took an hour-ish. But I had started it and then like put it on pause and hadn't finished it. So I went over to my sister's house one day, and then she also has one. I have two other sisters. So my mom got each of us one and herself one. So we sat and worked on these together, one of my sisters and I. So that was kind of fun. So that's done. And then I guess I will go into my whips, because I do have stuff I've worked on. The one project that I'm so close to finishing that I want to get done. Like I could probably get it done in the next 2 days. I just didn't want this video delayed that much more because of that one project. So Okay, yeah, whips. So first of all, my Haid Sal. So this is a Steampunk Portal, and I'm not gonna take it out of the Q-snap this time, only because I'm nearing the end of the whole top row. So if I get really, like, I'm getting closer to the end of this side of the fabric, so it would just be a lot to unravel on this side. But this is my Steampunk Portal. So this one is, let me see if I can find the information, hold on. Yeah, so this one is obviously charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. The artwork is by L&L Designs. It's stitched on white Lugana Easy Guide, 25 count, and I stitch it 2/1 full cross. The fabric I just got from my L&S. And percentage wise for this one, of the 3 installments that are out right now, I'm at 18.99%. However, of the total, because there is another like little sliver at the bottom of the piece, if I can find the like the breakdown of the pages, I'll put it up here. But of the total chart, I'm at 18.53%, not too far off because of the little sliver on the bottom that's supposed to come out in the last installment. So that is that one, and I absolutely love this one. It is so pretty, and I love working on it. I need to pick it up again. I haven't picked it up in about a week because I've been trying to finish that other project, which I will get to. Get to talking about, I should say, but also get to finishing. This is where I was last time. And this is what it's gonna look like finished. Okay, so that's my Haid Sal. Next is my Freebie Harmony Parrot. And here we go, is this beautiful one. Can you guys see it? It's hard for me to see the camera. So this one, I'm like peeking around all edges of, of the frame. Let me just get my paper here. This one is artwork by Ching Chow Quick, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, stitched on 25 count Lugana in white, stitched 2/1 full cross. Again, the fabric I got from my L&S, and I use all called for DMC. So this is where you saw it last time. And this is what it's going to look like once it's finished. And right now, this one is at 17.23% of the total. My goal is to get this done by the end of this year. It's still going to be called on my Whip Go, so we'll see how close I can get to finishing that. I kind of did the math, and on my Whip Go, if I do everything my Whip Go calls, I still have a little bit left on the chart to do to finish this top like section here before the end of the year. So I kind of want to do more than what my Whip Go will call for when this project gets called, just so I can make sure it's done by the end of this year. Because again, this one's been a project I've been working on forever, and I'm trying to really cross things off the list. Not that I expect to finish this one anytime soon, but I'd like to just get the top row done and, you know, say that that's a goal that I completed, because I do have a list of goals. I haven't gone through that yet on a video, but if you guys are interested in hearing my specific goals, this is my little list. So it is on here to finish the top row of stitching on this by the end of this year. Okay, so that's that one. Next is Story Keep Tiki Beach Sunset. I love this one too. I love all my projects, all the colors and everything. So that's that one. I have, where am I at now on this one? 13.08%. So this one is artwork by Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Again, stitched on white Lugana 25 count 2/1 full cross and using all called for DMC. So I'll do this. This is where you saw it last time. And this is what it's gonna look like finished. I am absolutely loving this project, loving the colors. I can't wait to get down into like the yellows and the oranges and all the bright colors. That's gonna be so fun to do. So love that. Next is Maguan. So this one I really enjoyed working on. I put this one off for a while because I was really in the full coverage mood, and then when it got called for Whip Go, I really had to work on catching up, specifically on this project. I had a bunch of times that it was called for multiple different months, and for each time it's called for my Whip Go, I want to work on a project 3 times for 3 days. Doesn't matter how long. It could be 1 minute, it could be 1 strand, it could be 3 hours. Like, as long as I work on it, that I will in 1 day. So I won't, if I work on it twice in a day, I won't consider it as 2 times worked on. So I really wanted to catch up on this, and I did. I'm so excited. So I'm all caught up with my Whip Go for this project and for I think it was actually Tiki Beach Sunset, if I'm not incorrect. But yeah, anyway, I caught up on all my Whip Go. So this is the first time I've set like stitching goals for myself that I've actually stayed on top of, and I've gotten a bunch of finishes on old projects that have just been hanging around. So you guys are keeping me accountable, which I really appreciate, so that's great. But this is where I'm at on Maguan, and this one I don't have any percentages just because it is on Goodreads. I just use like a highlighter and paper to work on it and mark off. But it's by Bella Filipina. It's stitched on Lugana in pewter, 25 count, 2/2, stitch full cross. Of course, there's going to be back stitching and beading as well. I got the fabric from my LNS, and I'm using all called for DMC, Karen Water Lilies, Petite Treasure Braid, and Mill Hill beads. So I will show you what it looked like last time in comparison. And I do have the bottom of her dress done, but I'm just going to show you like the top part that I did last time. If you want to see the whole project, you can check out my more recent whip parade, like my mid-year whip parade. That shows the entire project. But I love working on this one. When I pulled it out for my Whip Go, I actually got really into doing it again. There's the bottom of her dress all stuffed in there. But I'm loving this. So I want to pull this out again, but it isn't called for my Whip Go. So we'll see, because I want to prioritize my Whip Go goals and not fall behind for the rest of this year. And see how I can do. But if I can pull this out with whatever extra stitching time I have, I would love to. But I also want to keep up with my Haid Sal, because I have a goal for that too, which I'll get to in all of my plans. But anyway, so that's my Maguan. Love her. This is what it's going to look like finished as well. Okay, so next is my Twisted Band sampler. Now, hold on, I'm going to trip on this. Now, my Twisted Band sampler, you guys, if you guys saw my last, was it in my update or my whip parade? I can't remember I can't remember which one it was, but maybe both. I had mentioned that I had a hole in the Lugana of this fabric, and it's an opalescent white Lugana, and I was not freaking out, but I was thinking, you know, I don't want to buy the fabric new. I don't want to start all over again. There's got to be a way to fix it. A lot of you had suggested a lot of different great ideas, like patching the back with another piece of the same type of fabric. And I could cut it off the bottom, but I was a little hesitant to do that because I didn't want that to fray, and I know I can zigzag it, but the edges on this was serged. My LNS serges them for me for free when I buy the fabric, so I just didn't want to have to cut that edge off. And I like the even border. There's something about it. I think my perfectionism likes the even border. And then I saw Needlebug, Karen the Needlebug. I watched her tutorial on how to fix like linen and holes in fabric, and she actually pulled a thread out of the bottom of her fabric to weave it in to where the hole is. And I was considering doing that, but you'd have to pull the ripped thread back a little bit, and it was really close to some stitching, so that was going to be a struggle. And then I considered fray check, but I knew that wouldn't fix the hole, it would just stop it from fraying further, and I didn't want it to discolor. There were just so many things I considered. And then a lot of you said use iron-on interfacing. I have never used iron-on interfacing until this project, so I did go with that option. So thank you to those of you who suggested that. I found some on Amazon, and I just cut a little, initially it was a little square, and I put it, like I put the hole right in the center, or it right around the hole. And then because this stitching is diagonal, I wanted to kind of cut off the corners so that it looks kind of like a little diamond. I'll show you the back. But it was so easy to do. No issues whatsoever. I just pulled, so the little thread, the fabric thread that was like the hole, it kind of was sticking up out of my, so this is the top of my fabric. And then the fabric threads that were broken, they were both kind of sticking up on either side of the hole. So I just pulled them through to the back. Is this a good demonstration? I just pulled them through to the back of the fabric, and then on the back of the fabric is where I put the interfacing, so it kind of like pressed in the edges, if that makes sense, and held them down. And then when I was stitching, you just kind of have to eyeball where you think the hole is, but it's so small, like you know, there's really not much room for error. So it was very simple and it worked wonderfully. So I was able to continue my line. It's beautiful. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. So the back, because you guys will probably wonder what that looks like. You can barely see it, but do you see how I kind of cut the edges off on this side and this side of the, like it was a square. How can I show you guys this? Okay, so it was a square that went all the way out here, but because there's no stitching down this diagonal, I cut off this corner and this corner just so that all of the interfacing was hidden behind the stitched section. So that's what that looks like on the back. You can obviously see where I already had stitching, and then I put the interfacing and then continued stitching, and this is right where the hole was, right in the middle there, because the interfacing goes up to like here. Anyway, so to those of you who suggested that and everything else, thank you guys. That's what I decided to go with because I used some lightweight interfacing and it just seemed like the easiest, quickest option, and the one that made the most sense because the hole wasn't huge. But anyway, so I'll get to the stats and everything for this. So because I stitched this one using paper, which is a little bit annoying, I've considered switching it over to like an electronic copy on, not necessarily on Goodreads because I'd still have to go page by page, but I was thinking of doing it on Markup RXP, which I've never used before, but then I'd have to mark off like what I've already done. So I just haven't yet. But okay, back to this. So this one is Twisted Band Sampler by Northern Expressions Needlework. It's stitched on an opalescent Lugana, as I said, 28 count, 2/1, and with one strand for the like motifs and specialty stitching. This is a specialty stitch version. I don't know if I've mentioned that in any of my videos before. I know someone did ask that on a comment, so it is the specialty stitch version. And again, just got the fabric from my LNS and used all the called for DMC, because this pattern actually does come with different, like you can use different threads like silks and stuff, but it also does give you the conversion for DMC, so I use the DMC conversion. But I love it. It's beautiful and it makes me so happy that that band is finished and it's not stuck in the middle of, you know, right here with a hole. Yeah, So that's that. Okay, so this is where you saw it last time in comparison, where I was stuck. And then this is what it's going to look like once it's done. And if I ever do move this over to like an electronic copy, I will start giving percentages, obviously. But yeah, she's gorgeous. Oops, I love the colors. Okay. Then we have the last of my whips, and this is the one project that I'm really trying to get done, and I wanted to get done for this video, but alas, I did not. This, and you guys will laugh at this, because in my last video, and I think it was my update, pretty sure it was my, like my, when I say update, my mid-year whip parade update, this project, I was gonna UFO, but because I was on a finishing spree, I was like, okay, you know what? And then I got the chart, and there we go. So cute. I'm not gonna take it out of the hoop because I think you can see it pretty well. And I literally had from this part, I had this section here to do last night, and then this section, and I just didn't get it done, but I can finish that, you know, in a day, not even like a couple hours. And then I just have the rest of his head in the last part and his ear, and I'm done. But this, I should tell you, is the Maloka Designs S. This one was from 2023, the SAL from 2023. It's stitched on white Aida 16 count, 2/1 full cross, all called for DNC. I got this fabric from Michael's, just in a big roll. I honestly don't love it. The holes on it are huge, so my needle kind of falls through. I could probably go up a needle size. I just haven't. I've been too lazy and haven't wanted to like just pull out a different needle because every time I work on this, I'm not with my stitching stuff. Like I'll take it outside or whatever because it's portable, and then I forget that I want to change the needle. I did use pinking shears, I'm just noticing, but it like, oh, it does like pull apart. So I'm finding that's not great. But I mean, I handle this one a lot, and I don't have like a grime guard for it or anything, but he's so cute. Oh my gosh, I love him. Anyway, so I'm so happy that, you know, I'm gonna have this one done too. I'm glad it's no longer gonna be an FFO, or excuse me, and a UFO, and soon will be an FO and an FFO. Oh, some thread just came off the project somewhere. Oh yeah, I ripped it off of, I meant to weave this end in, but it's so close to the hoop that I couldn't, and I just ripped one of the strands off. It's 2 strands here, now it turns into 1. Anyway, I'll have to figure that out later. But anyway, that's him. So I will show you what he looked like last time you saw him, when I had decided to UFO it, and what he will look like when he's done. And I'm still trying to decide like how I want to finish him, like what I want to do. I know Rachel from Lemonade Stitching, she made hers into like a little project bag, which I think is really cute. I'm trying to decide if I want to do like a little tote bag or something, but I just don't know how this fabric would hold up, especially because it's white. I don't want it to get super dirty, and I've never made a project bag before, so I don't even know how to start doing that. So don't hold me to that. I'm just kind of like throwing ideas around in my head. Yeah, look how bad this is fraying. Anyway, and there's not much margin on this. I did not cut this. Like, this was one of my initial projects. I did not cut this very well. So when I put the hoop, and I'm trying to get really close to this side, and like I stitched all this close to the hoop. So I just, yeah, I need to be careful with it. Like with the fabric, I mean. Sorry, my mind went blank for a sec. I got a call and it distracted me. Anyway, enough of that, and I keep saying apologies guys, but that's that. So that one will be a finish in my next update video, which I'm excited for. And that, I think, is everything for my whips. And as I said, I caught up on Whip Go. Super exciting. And so for plans, obviously, as I said, want to finish that. Start my freebie steampunk owl. So in my last video, I kit up a project. I kit up a project with me. This is my freebie steampunk owl that I kitted up with you guys in my last video. The artwork is by Malcolm Watson, and I'll show you on the screen what it will look like when it's done. I've been so excited to work on this project. Ever since kitting it up, I was praying that it would get called on WhipGo so that I could sit down and actually get started on it. And it did. So I can't wait. So you guys saw me prep all my floss, and I had cut the fabric before doing that video. If you guys want to see a video on how I measure and cut my fabric, I'm happy to do that. I also, for the first time ever, I've never zigzagged any of my edges. I just used pinking shears before, or I've had pre-cut Aida, or I bought Aida from my LNS and they do the serging on the edges. So I tried to do my own zigzag. I think it kind of worked. I showed my mom and she's like, should it be a little bit like deeper into the, not deep, like should the zigzags be longer rather than like short, if that makes sense. I don't know. But I think as long as it works for now, and it seems to have been pretty good, because when I was doing this, I did see that all of the, like the edges that were starting to fray did get like tied in and held down by the zigzag. I also did wash this fabric because in my kit up my project video with me, I saw this big stain on the front. I did get it off and it came out a little bit whiter, actually. Like, I mean, it's still a yellow colored fabric, like an antique white, but it compared to the other half of the fabric that I cut from it, it is a lot different in color. So it was pretty dirty. So I'm glad I washed it. I also gridded it. Oh, I guess I don't need to like undo the whole thing, but I also gridded it for the first page. That's how big the first page will be. I think I did one extra block in one direction just because I think it cuts off, I think on the bottom, I think like the first page kind of cuts halfway through. So anyway, I did one extra line, but I will be starting that this month finally. So for this new start, I'm going to do a video start project with me and a stitch with me. So I'm excited for that because I also haven't filmed a stitch with me in a while and I've really been wanting to, and I have a setup now that will work better for a stitch with me. As you kind of saw in my last video, the top down filming worked a lot better in that video than, I mean, I haven't done a top down video before other than the stitch with me, but I just felt like the setup is pretty good. So gonna be doing that. So stay tuned for that for my next video. And that'll probably be, I hope that'll be within the next week or two. I can't even like think of the calendar and what days are and everything, but soon, so stay tuned. Next is, oh yeah, just my Steampunk Portal. I want to continue working on that and do 200 stitches a day on that one, just to reach my goal for the end of the year of doing like 6 pages so that I can get the other charts in the Haid Sal Stitch Along. Like, how do I explain this? They Haid offers 12 charts for you to choose from when you sign up for the Sal. So if you finish the 6 pages, that like 6 full pages, then you get the rest of the charts, so the other 11 charts that were offered for the Sal. So I want to try to do that. So I want to try to do 200 stitches a day if possible, if not more, to make sure that I meet that deadline. Also for this, the Steampunk Owl, I want to do 500 stitches a day for WhipGo. And then my other project for WhipGo is my Tiki Sunset Beach, Story Keep Tiki Sunset I can't speak now. All of a sudden that call threw me right off. Sorry, guys. My Story Keep Tiki Beach Sunset by Amy Stewart, that one. I would like to do 500 stitches on that as well. All my full coverage for Whip Go are 500 stitches. Anything that isn't like countable stitches, whether I'm working on a paper pattern or on a program that doesn't allow me to count stitches, then I just have to work 3 days, as I said in my Maguan explanation. Okay, and then rough plans. Because I've been working on getting a lot of finishes done, I'm tempted, because I asked you guys also in one of my last videos tips on how to start and stop like backstitch threads or threads where you only have one strand, because I use the loop start to start a lot of the time, because I mostly stitch with 2 strands, and I never felt like I could start it properly, and I don't know why I didn't think of this, so thank you guys, because I just went on a total mental break. But people are like, try the pin stitch, or try, you know, the like a waist knot and then cut it off when you like, I don't know why I didn't do any of those things. Like, I've seen all of those techniques done before and I just couldn't think about it. So I'm probably gonna try to do a pin stitch in, because I'm stitching it on Ada. I think that will work fairly well. I gotta kind of look up how to do it again. I didn't think I could do a pin stitch because it's such a thin line, but there is a way that you can do it. And someone mentioned in my last, I think it was my last video, like the update video, that you can do a pin stitch, or that, see how I'm blanking now, guys? I get thrown off and my whole train of thought just stops. Is that like any of you? I don't know. One thing throws you off and you're kaput for the rest of, you know, the day. Not the day, but you know what I'm saying. Let me think. Yeah, someone commented that Caterpillar Cross Stitch has a video on how to start and stop threads for black work specifically. Did I even say black work? I might have said back stitch before. Black work. Anyway, so I will be trying to do that at some point. Don't hold me to it, but I'm liking the picking up old projects and getting them done so that I can focus on all the new ones and all the like the ones that I, you know, when you pick up a new project and it's more exciting. Not that I don't like my old ones. I love my old ones. I started them for a reason. But I just find that you get more invested in the new ones, so trying to get rid of the old ones can be harder to pick up. So I think trying to get those done has been good. And I have like all the charts for it and everything. So I'd like to do that eventually. And then the other project I'd like to bring up, I debated mentioning this or not, but here we are, is my Celtic Angel by Barbara Batts. I'll put up a picture of that one as well here so you guys can see, but this is one that my granny started a while ago and never was able to finish before she passed. So I want to finish it, and then we can have a project that we both worked on. So I would like to finish that, but that's a matter of like kitting up a bunch of floss that I don't even know if I have, and I don't necessarily want to buy more until I'm done other projects and can clear some colors out of some projects to use, because I often will buy multiple skeins. Like I'll buy a whole new set of skeins just so I'm not flipping threads, and then I don't have an issue with the color, like if the color changes or if it's an old thread versus a new thread, and like the old thread is like, what's the word, faded. I was gonna say worn down. Anyway, so I would like to try to finish some projects so that I can use those threads in new projects, so before I start that. But anyway, again, future plans and goals. Peppermint, oh, I said that, Peppermint Purple Sal. Okay, so haul, I guess, is the next thing. I bought a pattern because it was on sale and I got a discount code, and I've seen other stitchers do this pattern and I absolutely love it. The first time I saw it again was on Teresa Little Stitcher's channel, and it's gorgeous. She did the UK flag, and I wanted to do the Canadian flag, seeing as I live in Canada. So this is Quaker Tiles Canadian Flag by Vivian Powers. So I will put a picture up on the screen of what it's going to look like. That is something I've wanted, like this pattern is something I've wanted for a really, really long time, and just never did it because I was like, I don't need more projects. I had so many at the time, but now that I'm getting through a lot of older projects and finishing a bunch, I'm kind of like, okay, it's on sale, now it's the time. So I got that pattern off of Etsy. I don't know if her Etsy shop is the same as her name. If it's not, I will put it on the screen. And maybe I'll link it down below as well. Anyway, next thing, which it's kind of linked to what I was saying about wanting to finish projects and clear out the threads so I can use them for other projects. In my whip update video, or whip parade and update video, I showed my floss binder. So this is my new floss binder. I got it off of Amazon. I will link it down below. But I asked you guys how I could label each of the pockets that I'm going to be putting my floss cards in once I'm done a project. And someone commented, because I wanted it all to look uniform, I wanted the writing to look nice, so I was going to use my Cricut, and then I just thought weeding like 500 numbers, because I'm going to put all the numbers of DMC, weeding over 500 numbers of DMC would be ridiculous and so time consuming. Even though that would look really nice, it just wasn't realistic. So I was like, what's a faster way to do it? And I didn't want it to be my handwriting. I felt like that looked messy. I wanted it to be really clean and crisp and like cute font. So someone commented a little labeler, a little labeling machine. Again, don't know why I didn't think of that. You guys are brilliant, and I just like blank, and I'm so thankful for this channel because I wouldn't know what I'd do without you guys. But I have been labeling, so I've gotten pretty far. Oh, and you can see, so I have some floss drops in here that fit perfectly in there, that I like label from a project and throw in there, and then you can pull them just right out, and then they drop. They're already on a drop for you. If I can get it out, they're already on a drop for you. So then you can just throw them on a ring, and you're all set to go. So I love this system. I got this idea from my friend at Writing Stitches, because she does something similar with binders and like the card inserts. So she has a few different binders and card inserts. So without her, I would not have thought of like getting, this is a Polaroid, like a Polaroid photo album with over 500 pockets, just so I could keep everything in one spot. And I like how it zips because then it keeps the dust out. So this is my labeler. All that to say, I got a little labeler. This is it. It is I got it off of Amazon, the Nimbot Smart Label Printer. Highly recommend. It's been great. I did get extra, so it doesn't use ink, it's thermal. I did get extra rolls of labels because I went through the first one pretty fast. I think it had, probably had just under or over 100. I forget. But I did need extra. Obviously there weren't 500, well I shouldn't say obviously, but there weren't 500 labels on the roll. But you hook this up to your phone, and there's just an app, and I just type in the number, and I put a little like cute symbol on the side of each of the numbers. I just think it looks really cute. And it prints in literally a second, and you just rip them out and you're good to go and stick them on. So that's been really fun to work on, and I'm kind of doing that when I don't have the brain power to do stitching, but I still want to do stitchy stuff. I'm doing this. So once I unkit, is that even a word that we use? My mom laughs every time I say that because she's like, that's not a word. And I'm like, well, I don't know how else to say it. It's not de-stashing, it's de-kitting, unkitting, I don't know. All of my projects, once I'm done, I want to put all the thread in there, and then I'll go through that first when I kit up new ones. That was a long-winded explanation for saying I got a labeler. Anyway, Now the interfacing that I mentioned before, I did get that again off Amazon. I got white, and this is white. It kind of looks gray, but it is white, and then black. This is lightweight interfacing, iron-on interfacing. It was great. No issues other than I had to use a higher heat than was like typically suggested for it to actually stick, because I felt like I could peel it off fairly easily. But again, was great for my project. Project bags. So as I said, I bought these bigger project bags. These are the A3 size, I believe. Yeah, A3. And then these are the ones that I typically use, which are A4. So you can see the difference. Can you see the difference? It's hard to show you guys. There. So, got the bigger project bags, and they came in a big stack of like a bunch of different colors. I did pull them out, but I don't think I need to show you the whole stack. That's what they look like. And then I also bought little mini ones, which are 9 by 4.5 inches. And I like these for, in this case, I have just like, these are little scissors, and then my Sharpie to mark off my paper pattern, or in the instance of a larger full coverage project, and you saw in my kit my project up with me video, I have all the extra floss that's needed. Someone also did make a comment, I haven't had a chance to reply to them just yet, about making sure to note that all of the floss that I got was for a project stitched on 25 count, and I'm stitching my new project, the owl, Steampunk Owl, on 18 count, so I will need to buy more floss for some of the colors. I just didn't know which colors I would need more in, and I know it says like your stitch count. I just didn't want to do the math or have to think, oh, do I need this? I don't know. Like, I was like, I didn't want to buy extra or buy too little of one color, so I figured as and when I get, plus I didn't want to spend tons of money all at once. So I was like, as and when I get to a point, if I run out of floss, I will buy another skein or whatever if I need to. Because I don't actually know how many stitches each skein will do. And I know there is a calculator for that, like how many stitches each skein will stitch on a certain count of fabric. So I could do that. I just didn't want to go through like a whole list, like 3 pages worth of, like 90 colors worth of floss to try to figure out which ones I would need more of. But that is a good point to make. So thank you to that person. And for those of you who are kitting up projects too, I should have mentioned that in my video. I'm getting another call. Sorry guys. So if my brain stops working again, that's why. Oh, this is just my floss list, like label list for my binder. That's just on my desk. Okay, and then I got these little floss threaders. So they're really cute, and I thought they'd be better than, I have a really big, where is it? I have a big DMC floss threader, and I just feel like every time I use it through my needle, so this is the one I use. I put a little charm on it. It's cute. But I use this small side, the smaller side, and it's still like pretty big, and sometimes it actually catches on the needle. Do I have a needle here to show you? No. It catches on the eye of the needle, and then I struggle pulling it through because the hook is so big. The hook is even bigger than the eye. It's just like flat. But so I got these, which have a really tiny hook, like you can barely even see it, like in comparison. Crazy. So I thought these would be good because they wouldn't catch on the eye of my needle. Honestly, they're a little too small. I think they're more for sewing thread and sewing needles rather than like bigger DMC, like cotton thread, and what do we call the needles we stitch with? There's where my brain's just stopped. Oh my gosh, I'll put it on the screen again because I forget. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Anyway, so I actually think I'm gonna have to return these, even though they're cute. I don't do much sewing, and for the sewing that I do actually do, I don't need like really like this many little threaders. I was gonna put one of these in each of my project bags, but I find they're, and now I'm throwing things. Sorry, this is a messy video. Anyway, I find that they're just not gonna work as well as I would have liked, because they don't even grab all of the DMC fabric or fabric floss. I hook the floss onto the hook and it only pulls like one strand through, or it splits the one strand and only pulls like half a strand through at a time. It's just, and it's, yeah, not great. So for stitching, I don't recommend those. Just for those of you who have maybe looked at them and considered them, I would say probably not for stitching. Then I bought fabric. I mentioned these in my last video too. Fabric markers, water soluble, water erasable markers. These guys, they're by Mr. Pen, the brand Mr. Pen on Amazon. They're pretty cheap and they are wonderful. I tested them on a little scrap of Ada that I had, washed right off. I don't know how it'll hold up, like if I'm using this and I have a project like a full coverage and I'm working on it for years. I don't know how easily it'll wash off years down the line or if it'll fade. I don't know, but that's why I'm gridding one section at a time, and then like it'll be covered by the stitching for the most part, except I don't know how the edges will be, but it shouldn't be too hard to wash off, and it rinsed off with like room temperature water. It was wonderful. It was great. So easy, and you would never know it was there. So I do recommend those. Highly recommend those. And then I got, lastly, the very last thing. There's lots of haul here, guys. I feel like, I was gonna say I didn't really stitch much, but I did have a lot to show, and I just felt like I was like really wanting to, I was in the stitchy mood. I wanted to buy things. I wanted to do things. Anyway, I got these side tensioners. So I saw someone in a Facebook group ask about them and said like, are these any good? And I didn't even know Amazon had side tensioners, and that's why in my previous video I was actually asking people what they did to tension specifically for my Parrot project. I was asking what people did to tension the sides because I get grid lines in that project, and I think it's my tension and because the fabric's not taut enough on either side with a scroll frame. So someone asked about these, and then a lot of people said they're wonderful, they're great. So they have this part where you put the scroll frame in here, and then you have these little clamps that you hook the little, there's like these little clips that have teeth in them. Hello? They have teeth in them. So you just hook them. I haven't actually tried them yet, but you just hook it onto there. You clamp this side on your project, and then this part will go, like your scroll frame will go in here. So you get to move this part as far or as close as you want, depending on the size of your scroll frame, depending on where your fabric is. And that like tightens it all up for you and tensions the sides. So you can put a few, I wonder, it's gonna be too hard to show you on this. And now I'm throwing my projects, guys. It's not good. So it would be something like this, I think. Oh my gosh, you can't even see. Like that. And then I would like have these little clips clamped on this fabric, and then I would tighten this up. Is that showing you guys how this works? And then you would tighten this as much or as little as you want to pull the fabric. Anyway, but I did have a couple people mention using chopsticks, and I mentioned this in my previous video that I had a couple people mention chopsticks, which is such a smart idea. I just felt like for me, because I'm so close to the end of that page, I didn't want to have to like sew on or weave in chopsticks on either side, to which you then like use. I don't know how to explain this. Another YouTuber, if you look it up, I'm sure you'll be able to find them. I found their video and it's so clever, but using chopsticks to tension the sides and have something to like grasp onto when you're pulling. I don't know how to explain things, guys. I'm sorry, my brain stopped. But look it up. It wasn't my idea, but very clever when I saw how it was done. I just didn't want to have to do that every time I wanted to move my frame. Not that I move it often. I just thought that these would be a little bit quicker and if I wanted to scroll, because sometimes I will scroll even like an inch down, just to keep where I'm stitching in the center of my frame, so I'm not too low if possible. But so I'll kind of adjust it up and down sometimes. But I find it like if I did that, I wouldn't be able to keep the chopsticks on here, because like the chopsticks are probably about that long, and then they would be, you know, interfering with the scroll rods every time I wanted to move up and down the project, even just, you know, by an inch. So then I could move these, like these scroll rods out. There are other adjuster like things, so I could make this width longer, but then the oh my god guys, I'm sorry, it's gonna be hard to listen to with me like not knowing how to speak. Then the give me a sec, the chopsticks. You guys are gonna be laughing at me. I haven't filmed in so long and I'm struggling, but the chopsticks wouldn't be centered, and I think it would just be a little bit more complicated for me, and I like having like a smaller width to work from, because my arms can reach from the top to the bottom more easily, and I'm not like stretching my arm out to get to the spot where I want to stitch. Anyway, I hope that made sense, guys. I'm so sorry for this video. It might be hard to listen to. Anyway, okay, so that was the last thing in haul, like the haul wise that I bought. So the only, like the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is the giveaway. Yay! So, I reached 1,500 subscribers, which I am so thankful for, because without you guys, I don't know what I would be doing, but I am so appreciative. Like, you guys help me so much. You support my channel. You make this so enjoyable for me to record all these videos, so I want to say thank you. So there are going to be 2 winners of my giveaway. I want to do 2 HAID charts of your choice. It can be any chart on the website, and this giveaway will be open to anybody who wants to join, because I'll just send it to you via email, these charts. And I just won't do like obviously like a chart pack like with all the thread and everything, so just whatever chart you want. And the only thing that I will ask of you guys is if you can subscribe. You will be entered for the giveaway, and you have to be subscribed, excuse me, to enter the giveaway. And you'll have to leave a comment down below, and I think I want the comment to be summer. So if you can mention summer in your comment below, you will be entered to win the giveaway. You can only enter once. If you leave multiple comments, I'm able to filter for only one of your comments, so we'll only still enter you once. Suffice it to say, try to only comment once per entry. You can make multiple comments as long as they're not entering the same giveaway, because it's still only going to put you in once. But I'm so excited to do this. I do want to say too, I want to support HAID, because I know that they recently lost somebody, so I'd like to support. And I mean, I love HAID. Half of my charts, if not more, are HAID, so I would like to support them, and my thoughts go out to them. So yeah, I think this is the best way to do it, and then it allows everyone to join into this giveaway, because I can just send it to you guys via email to whoever wins. So that's what I'm going to do. So comment summer down below, because we're summer stitching. And yeah, I'm so excited. So I will pull those winners. I'll say you have up until the end of the month of August. So that's a few weeks. Yeah, that's like 3-ish weeks. So 31st of August is when I will pull names, pull winners for the 2 winners, and I will announce them in my update for August that I will post the beginning of September. So, okay guys, that's everything. I hope this video was interesting to you. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions. If I didn't mention anything, comment down below. I will answer. I also will update my WIP spreadsheet, which I will link down below. So take a look at that. Because I did have some stuff on there I didn't want to update yet until I post this video. So that will be updated. So if you have any questions about any of my projects, everything will be on there. And okay guys, that's everything. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a hoot stitching. Bye-bye.